Man, what's up, y'all? Well, we reacting to the Mrbeast allegations. It's the new ones that came out. I would like to believe they not true, but I ain't gonna even lie. 2 plus 2 ain't adding up. You hear me? 2 plus 2 equaling 5. You hear me? Not 4, 5. And y'all know. But look, I don't think it can get no worse. But this video about more Pegasus, I watched his last video and I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. And they said it was like sexual harassment and all that coming up in like the future. So I just we finna get into this, man. But look, subscribe to more Pegasus channel because man, his last video, I ain't gonna lie. I sat right there and watched the whole video.
The Mrbeast
Oh, we're gonna turn this down a little bit because I can't hear.
allegations keep getting worse and there doesn't seem to be an end. So we're just going to go over everything that's gone down in the past 2 weeks since my last video, including some very serious new allegations.
Tell me if it's too low.
Festivals. So last time everyone was concerned with the allegation that Mrbeast hired a registered offender nicknamed Delaware as a contestant in his video, victim age 11, which is horrible. Since then,
Wow.
Jake the Viking confirmed in a tweet that Delaware is indeed his brother-in-law and a registered offender and was part of the Mrbeast video, and claims that Jimmy and his mom also knew about this and allowed it to happen. Now, if you thought that that was the only criminal that Jimmy was associated with, Rosanna Pansino tweeted out, "I've received confirmation from 5 verified contestants that for the first round of Beast Games, a man named Armani was allowed to compete. He was previously charged with at least 20 counts for battery, kidnapping, pandering, or paying."
Hey, bro, 20 counts. 20 counts is crazy, bro. That ain't no petty criminal. That's 20 counts. That is 20 counts, bro. What else? He said battery, kidnapping. Mrbeast. Mrbeast put a kidnap on her, man. Mrbeast has a kidnapper. Well, I had a kidnapper on there.
Big charge, acknowledging the significant
That's crazy
evidence against him. He allegedly also slept near female contestants before being kicked off set for inappropriate behavior. Some of the female contestants confirmed being very uncomfortable around him. He's also friends with Jake Paul and other influencers.
Weird.
How is there not adequate background checks to catch people like this? And there's a picture of Armani. Yikes, I don't think they took time for background checks. Good lord, my god, Mrbeast, what else are you hiding? Now, obviously, this is really concerning if it is true, because you can't have criminals of this degree participating in your challenges.
For real, though.
Especially allowing them
literally
to sleep near female contestants when they might be uncomfortable. That is obviously a recipe for disaster, and Jimmy needs to conduct better background checks to avoid situations like this. Now, Rosanna follows up by saying he has changed his appearance since being in jail. Contestants said they believe he was in the green team in the group challenge. Multiple people have told me he allegedly received a lot of camera time and was to be part of the story. Here we got the alleged change in appearance. I mean, at this point, Jimmy has to respond to this. That is allegedly 2 criminals that we now know of. I mean, there's plenty of people who would...
Bro, he had a kidnap on there, bro. For a person, look, that's why I don't ever try to push the I'm going to be a kid-friendly YouTube, man. But even me not being kid-friendly, I ain't having no kidnap on nowhere. Like, come on, man. Be honest.
Part in a Mrbeast video gladly with great personalities. I don't know why they feel the need to scoop the bottom of the barrel with contestants and settle for actual criminals. That is just insane to me. Now, Rosanna also says in this tweet that they're basically messing with the outcomes of the Beast Games rounds. I received confirmation from at least 10 Beast Games contestants that production has been calling some people this week and telling them they are now kicked off the show and no longer allowed to compete. This appears to be a fairly large amount of people. These are people who made it to the next round of Beast Games and were set to fly to the next shoot in Canada. I'm waiting for additional confirmation, but it appears that production is allegedly also calling people who were eliminated in the first round and inviting them back onto the show. Production has so far refused to give a reason, but the most common theory I'm hearing is that it was because of psych evaluation given to contestants after the first round. In my opinion, they either did a psych evaluation of contestants too late, or they're playing favoritism with specific contestants.
So look, I heard like last time, well, during like the challenges or whatever, people needed like inhalers and they asthma and they need like, diabetes medicine, and they wasn't like, they was denied everything because of the challenge. So Mr. Beast, and that ain't, look, and then the dude that he locked in the cell, the one that he had in the jail cell, and then he wouldn't turn off the light so dude couldn't even get sleep for real. If you ever like try to go to sleep while the light is on 24 hours a day, and you see how much sleep you get, and that's crazy.
Way, it is really
That's
concerning.
crazy.
Now, some people are saying this could be favoritism, or maybe they're just kicking out cheaters and giving back chances to people who got cheated out of a win. Honestly,
You got to be
personally,
honest
I feel like
sometimes though,
changing
y'all, too.
results after the fact is always lame, and it should be monitored in real time so people know exactly what happened and it's more fair. You guys can form your own opinion regarding that. Now, Rosanna also made a very concerning tweet. I've heard rumors from people working close with Mrbeast that he's hiring PIs to investigate those speaking up against him. Thank you to the people who reached out to warn me and others. I now have confirmation from several people that individuals are indeed being offered money to fabricate stories about me and others. I have identified some of these people already. They began harassing my friends.
I don't think that Mr. Beast. I think that's probably his friends.
Okay, obviously, if that's true,
I would think
that is
that's
really
like his little
concerning.
background
Fabricating
cast.
Stories about people is never okay. Personally, I'd like to believe Mrbeast is not a part of this, and somebody
Yeah, I don't think so.
taking it upon themselves to do something sinister. But the fact that she's saying people are being offered
Literally what I just said, and then yeah, people been offered money. Like what? But I can believe it though. You know they got the money for it.
money to fabricate stuff is incredibly concerning. Now, before you ask, none of my friends have been contacted yet.
Cannabis. It's not just legal in 38 states.
Okay.
It's a 36
You
billion.
gave me a good ad.
industry.
I'm gonna have to.
All right,
I'm gonna
and
have
I'd like
to tune
keep
to
it that
the.
way, all right? We have got
I'm gonna have to tune
lawyers,
to the
all right,
ad.
just in case. We got the squad ready. But personally, I'm just reporting the
stop.
news and stating my opinion, so not really making any accusations myself, so it should be good. But yeah, hypothetically, if it's true, stay away from my friends and family, bro. That's some supervillain shit. Anyways, moving on to
for real.
Feastables. Big disclaimer.
I am a
this
supervillain
next
though.
allegation is super serious, all right? I cannot confirm any of its legitimacy. I encourage everyone to do their own research and come to their own conclusions. That being said, YouTuber Honesty made yet another allegation against Mrbeast, saying he's potentially using child labor or slave labor for his chocolate.
No, the Beast Boys.
Incredibly concerning.
The Beast
Everything in
Boys.
this video is alleged, and the conclusions are my own opinion. Like many other industries, chocolate
Bro,
is notorious
don't
for
tell me.
its exploitation of children using child labor and slave labor. They use child labor, forced labor, unsafe conditions to farm these cacao beans that eventually makes its way to become chocolates at your table. With that being said, I'm gonna try to prove my first point. That Mr.
Wow.
Beast is using child labor and slave labor for his chocolates.
Hey, I wonder if
today
that's why he
and
went to
has been
Africa and
since
planted
late
all.
2023.
Well, did what he
When
did out
Feastables
there.
first launched in January of 2022, if you went into their FAQ,
I'm just saying.
Ask
Now you gotta
Questions
start putting
section,
two and two
they
together.
proudly displayed that they were child labor free and slave labor free. As a matter of fact, in April of 2023, they doubled down and they added to their list of main menu options this option that said we're slave free. And if you clicked it, it had an entire dedicated page talking about how they were free of slave labor and child labor. But just a few months later, in October of 2023, that main page item that said we're slave free, that was removed. In addition,
Why?
in the frequently asked questions section, that stuff about being child labor free and slave labor free, that stuff also disappeared. Later in May of 2024, and even
You know, there's a meme
Oh,
that
oh,
there's
oh.
no good billionaire. Child labor
No, look,
lists today and has been since late 2023.
look. Hey, once they start taking labels off stuff, y'all know what time it is, bro. If we being honest, y'all know exactly what time it is.
When Feastables first launched in January of 2022,
let me find
if you went
exactly
into
where
their
I went.
FAQ, their frequently asked questions section, they proudly displayed that they were child labor free and slave labor free. As a matter of fact, options page later remove and slave labor. There is no way marketers would forget to put this kind of information on their website.
They
because
wouldn't.
It would boost their brand favorability in the eyes of consumers. It's likely then that Mrbeast is now using child labor and forced labor for Feastables chocolates. This is especially bad because it means that Mrbeast and the Feastables
Sup,
team
humble?
are very aware
My bad.
that child labor and forced labor slavery exists in the chocolate industry, and yet decided to take advantage of the most
I know.
legal
Hey, my
vulnerable
bad,
among
chat.
us for personal gain.
I was so
This is
into
a
this video.
bad look for any company, but it's worse for Mrbeast because he puts on these large public displays of being a philanthropist and a role model to young children.
For real.
If all that is true, that is absolutely sickening. I don't know how it keeps getting worse. I know there's a meme that there's no good billionaires and stuff, but I'm starting to understand what it actually takes to get uber rich. Somewhere down the line, it seems something sinister happens where you might potentially have to sacrifice morals for more money. And yeah, based on what he said, that is some extremely shady behavior. Removing labels like that is extremely concerning because then you're allowing people to speculate like this
Look.
and they're gonna
The only reason why this part throwing me off, like, well, it ain't throwing me off. It's making me think, is because the way he was like Mrbeast was talking when he had that little employee handbook on how you gotta be the hardest worker and this and that, and he really don't care. YouTube come first. He already made that clear.
assume the worst intentions. Now, honestly goes on to say that in his opinion, Mrbeast actually knew about this and planned it this way, which is another insane allegation.
I think Mrbeast knew the entire time, since the beginning of Feastables, that he was going to use child labor and slave labor for his chocolates, but he tried to trick us into thinking otherwise. To try and prove my point, I'm going to first talk about the Feastables packaging, and then I'm going to talk about the kosher and halal certifications. When Mrbeast first launched Feastables, it was in line with his brand. They were clearly trying to do things ethically. They actually got a certification from the Rainforest Alliance. Once you're certified, you're able to use their logo, which is a little frog, on all of your products, your website, on all of that stuff. When I saw the packaging for Feastables, both old and new,
Shop Old Spice.
Hey, this game so right here so fake, man. This game right here make me mad. Y'all ever tried to download this game before, bro? Like, come on, man. This game make me mad. That
there was
game,
no Rainforest
real life,
Alliance
make me
certified
mad.
logo anywhere.
Cause
If
it's
you
the
one day
fakest
that package
game that,
has a frog
and it's
logo
still
on it, and
around.
the next day it disappears, people will notice. So instead, they decide to only put it on their website because at the end of the day, who the hell reads a website except for weirdos like me? By doing it this way, I think they tried to fool everyone into thinking that their chocolate is still child labor free and slave labor free.
Okay, listen, I'm not gonna speculate on Mrbeast's intentions
I don't
because
know.
I don't know what is going on in his head, obviously. But the
It's
facts that he
weird, though.
presented of removing those labels and refusing to put that little logo on the chocolate bar, that is some concerning stuff. At this point, Mrbeast is gonna have to wait until the end of the
allegations,
earth
though.
to respond because he said he's only gonna respond after all the allegations are made in one final response. So I don't know, more and more keep coming out, man. Now we move on to Mrbeast's apology. Basically, you guys remember Jake Weddle. He was the contestant in one of Mrbeast's challenges where he had to stay
remember
in
Jake.
solitary confinement, and he claimed to basically be
That's my boy
tortured,
Jake.
not allowed to sleep because the lights were on the
Told
entire
you.
time.
Told
He was
you.
made to run a marathon with no training. Lots of brutal stuff.
Oh,
and
I
pressured
forgot
to stay
about
in
the
challenge.
marathon
Now,
with no
turns out
training.
Mrbeast actually reached out to Jake Weddle, apologized, and offered him about 200.
Look, AI, he forgot something. He forgot that he had like an ice cream machine in there that like after like a day or two start melting, then it smelled like fucking dairy. He had a hot tub in there that what happened? The hot tub started getting like moldy, stinky because it ain't have no filtration system. Like,
as the remaining money that he would have won if he completed the challenge. Here's a clip.
Hey, I wanted to reach out and say I didn't mean to cause you mental stress with that video, and I apologize. Clearly, it had an effect on you. You mentioned you like to be paid out the rest of the prize money, the other $190,000.
Jesus.
And I'd love to make things right with you. I have zero expectation of you mentioning me sending you this money publicly or taking down any videos. This is just me wanting to help you out and make sure you're good. I just need to know if you still have the same bank or not. We'll send you the money on Monday. Wish you the best. There was no lawyers around. It wasn't a spectacle.
I want the money by Monday.
I respected that. That's how I would have wanted it to go down. But I couldn't take it. I couldn't take 100. And I just couldn't take it because it's still a mechanism of the game. It's still like the rest of the prize money, and that's not what it was about. Would you like $190,000? Oh, that's the thing. I know. I don't want you to think that you got to take any videos down. I don't want you to think you're. You don't have to post anything because I don't want it to look like I'm buying you out or you're being silent. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. This is just for you to make things right. I respect that. I appreciate that. But you know how it looks, you know, for you to give me this cash that I desperately need, right? You know, I want my audience to trust me here. You know, I want to remain credible. Yeah, totally. So you don't even like post about it. Don't worry about it. Just take this cash.
So basically,
Hell no.
Mr. Beast made that video, never posted it, and then gave him 200 or attempted
Just
to.
give me 50.
Okay, it's good that Mrbeast is trying to make things right. Now, some would say it's a PR move and he knew that Jake would talk about it. But regardless, that is the least he could do, is to compensate Jake and issue an apology. As for Jake, he accepted only 50K of that money, and he
I would've took
denied
it
the
off.
rest, claiming that he wants to
50K
make his
is
own
crazy.
money from
To
now
only
on.
taking
Now,
50K
that's completely
what?
fine, but one thing I didn't like
That's too
about
much pride
Jake
for me.
Reynolds' presentation here is his title and thumbnail. It says, "I caught Jimmy in a secret recording," and the video starts off with a fake AI video of Mrbeast talking.
That's right. I got that sent to me, and you know what? That was AI. Yeah, that was AI.
And he knew this recording was fake as well, so it's just a weird thing to do. I really encourage anyone who
he
comes
is
out with
confusing.
a Mrbeast
That's
story
confusing.
to be more careful about what you say or do, because genuine advice, you can lose public favor.
I don't think it can get no worse,
Now,
bro.
moving on to a guy called Ty Orr. This guy made 2 videos on Mrbeast.
I don't think it can get no worse.
A thief and a liar. Basically, this is someone who is trying to be on Mrbeast's idea.
If it get any
team,
worse,
who
I would
claims that
really
Mrbeast
be
stole his
surprised.
idea and did not pay him for it. Now, the idea in question is the sort of floating platforms for a challenge video, and then you got a bunch of obstacles similar to the game Fall Guys. Now, is it a unique idea? Personally, I think it's plausible that someone from the Mrbeast team also came up with that.
Looks like I'm all in.
She's in here somewhere.
On second thought, I'm out.
And it's also plausible that they didn't, and they actually did steal Ty's idea. Now, Mrbeast's team responded with a message showing that they already had a similar idea, so take that as you will. Now, I feel like if you have someone apply for a job and go physically to your location and do some work, I feel like you should compensate them just a little, even if they didn't actually get the job or do a good job. But the problem is, Ty Orr's intentions are in question now, because initially when he uploaded the video, he linked a GoFundMe for $1.7 million.
Jesus.
He's taken it down after severe backlash.
What?
And apologized
1.7
in a
million.
comment refunding the money. Last I checked, despite getting 2.5 million views, he only got like 20 donors and about $400. Maybe more, I don't know. But this is not a noble move. This is the bare minimum after pulling a stunt like that. There is no reason the public needs to pay you 1.7 million for an idea that is ridiculous. Even if Mrbeast wants to compensate you, an idea like that, which is literally just Fall Guys the game, let's be honest, is worth maybe $1,000, maximum like super generous $50,000 for that idea. And you should ask that compensation from Mrbeast, not the general public who is already struggling to get by. Now, in his second video, he alleges that Mrbeast just gets free labor from people by asking them to apply for a non-existent job, which again, I can't confirm, but he says he won't apologize
What y'all
for the
think about
GoFundMe
that?
anymore, but he already said sorry in a comment.
A non-existent
I feel for
job.
him if it's true, but I
Like you
can't
get
excuse
you
clown
apply for
behavior,
Mr. Beast. He like, yeah,
Moving
come
to
on.
Mrbeast's
Have you work,
girlfriend,
then
half
don't
the
pay
things
you.
that are said
You
are
go
not
home.
True. I wouldn't be with him if they were. Mrbeast's girlfriend defends the YouTuber following the recent allegations. Now, people are memeing this response saying, wait, what does she mean by half? Half, and we got Wall Street right with a cell phone.
Oh,
Only
man.
half,
Hey, you know the
small and
internet
empty
undefeated.
vessel. All right, so basically it's too vague to actually
And
say
they gonna
anything.
forever be
His
undefeated, man.
ex-girlfriend came out too, saying that she's been silent for years and vaguely saying that we need to protect women from people like that. She doesn't actually mention Jimmy's name, but take that as you will. Now, moving on, Rosanna also posted a video
I don't
about
trust
Mrbeast's
Isis.
leaked document, which
They get
showcases
mad
some of
and
his
lie.
work culture.
On to page 17, own your mistakes. This coming from Jimmy, someone who has never
Girl
owned
tell
his
you a
mistakes,
dude,
never
a
taken
terrible person. He a
accountability,
real,
and
he
never
actually a good guy
apologized for any
overall
of his
though.
poor behavior. I hate excuses and despise with my entire soul when people just try to save face instead of learn from how they've messed up. Pull all-nighters weeks before the shoot so you don't have to days before the shoot. If you planned with adequate time, preparation, and staff, your staff wouldn't have to be doing all-nighters. Never do anything that can make us look bad from a PR perspective.
Hey, look, nah, for real though, like, why are your staff doing all nighters? Like, what are you doing? Like, am I the only one confused on? I don't like. Yeah, that's what I was saying about the last video. He kind of just so like basically he a boss, right? And bosses don't understand that employees will never work as hard as you because why? They're not getting paid as much. They're not benefiting as much. If you get record this and that, they most likely will get a little something, but you're getting a big cut of everything. And a lot of people, a lot of bosses don't understand that part. But we're gonna let this finish up.
We don't fake things. The absolute delusion. Yes, you do, Jimmy. You pick the best company in America to do it at. The delusion. I would love to see the benefits of the best
He did fake some
company in
videos.
America. From what I'm hearing,
So,
you
yeah,
don't even
I ain't gonna lie.
people taking holidays off, such as Christmas. This sounds like the worst company
Christmas?
to work for in America to me. This isn't a
You can't get
stepping
Christmas
stone.
off?
This is your final destination.
You can't
You
get
would
Christmas
think that
off?
Mr. Beast actually paid someone to write something like this,
You
but
can't
it
get
really sounds like he
Hey,
wrote it
man.
in his voice here, which is kind of funny. It
That's
really depends
crazy.
how he implements these rules and how strictly he follows these guidelines. Like, is he actually working people to the bone? But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Now, there's also a situation with Ava Chris Tyson's partner, Irit, defending Chris Tyson in a situation regarding a potential SA victim named Jess. Now, if you want more details regarding that, you can check out Exate's video on it.
Ava Chris Tyson's current partner is alleging that Mr. Beast and his investors are trying to keep everyone quiet about the recent allegations. An alleged leaked Discord message from Chris's partner goes into detail about what's happened behind the scenes at Mr. Beast's company since Chris was removed, as well as attempting to defend Chris against every allegation, and even claiming at one point Jimmy had tears in his eyes while firing his first subscriber, Chris Tyson.
We're going to refrain from covering this until it gets a little bit more clear as to what's happening, because it seems like Irit is just blatantly lying regarding a lot of things. Anyways, that's pretty
Man, that's about it, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. You can't get Christmas off at Mr. Beast company. Imagine that. Imagine all the people who want to work for Mr. Beast and they can't even get Christmas off. Like, come on now. Can't even get Christmas off, bro. But man, make sure y'all hit that sub button. I'm tired. I ain't gonna even lie. It's like 3:30 in the morning. I'm tired. I'm finna go to sleep. Y'all take it easy.